Hey YouTube, DIYJunkie369 here with the week 8 weight loss video blog. Today I'm down to 275.4 pounds. That's a 33.5 BMI for me and roughly getting close to 29 pounds lost since I've started. For calories, I did not meet my goals this week on Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, but on the plus side, when I was over calories those days, it was 50 to 100 calories, which isn't very much considering it takes 3,500 calories to make up a pound of weight gain. And my calorie goal, like I said, is set for my activity level and BMR, and then has roughly 1,000 calories a day or something like that cut out of it to facilitate that 2 pound a week weight loss. And then on the days where I was under my calorie goal, I was about 200 calories over, so I figured everything roughly works out for this week. As far as my water intake, every day this week was good, which is a real plus over last week. And then I, of course, met my 10,000 steps a day. And then for 8.5 hours of sleep, I did pretty good this week, especially when compared to last week where I didn't meet the goal at all. This week I at least met my goal on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So, I mean, 3 days out of 7 isn't all that bad compared to not meeting that goal any day of the week. And then for my 2019 miles for this year challenge, we're currently at 47 days. And I'm at 262 miles out of needing 259.9. So the funny thing is, this week I had selected my video topic about a week ago, and it just happens to line up with an interesting coincidence that's happened to me this morning, which is yesterday when I weighed myself compared to this morning, there's about 5 pounds difference, as in 5 pounds gained from yesterday to today, which is pretty impossible if you think about it. I mean, if it takes 3,500 extra calories to gain a pound, to gain 5 pounds, you would need to gain roughly 17,500 calories on top of what your body's burning throughout the day. Not likely. I think if you tried to eat that much, it might actually kill you, unless you're like Michael Phelps or something. And partially the reason I notice this is I weigh myself every day. And between weighing myself and doing these videos, I feel like I have a responsibility to eat well and exercise and stuff, so that I can continue making progress and hopefully motivate people that are watching me. Because I want to do one of these videos every week, and I want to show people the weight loss that's possible. It motivates me and gives me the drive that I need to go out and do everything right each day, or as right as I can possibly do it. And so that brings up a topic that a lot of people question me about in my personal life, is like stepping on the scale every day. We've been told that is a horrible thing to do. It'll just depress you, and it's like the main failure for people that are trying to keep their New Year's resolutions or do weight loss programs. They see like a pound or 2 gain, that frustrates them, and then they just give up all hope. That's kind of true depending on your personality. I know it's been true for me in the past, and I had to adapt my way of thinking to be able to look at the scale every day. And if you are weighing yourself every day, what you're interested in is like the trends over a long period of time, not the day-to-day fluctuations. And they're going to be they're like guaranteed because of biology, and I'll cover why that happens. Most people recommend stepping on the scale once a week, which is kind of why I'm doing the videos once a week, and why I do the Sunday weigh-in a little bit differently than the rest of the week. So what happened with my 5 pound weight gain? There's several factors that caused the fluctuations day to day and throughout the day if you were to step on the scale several times during one day. And basically, this weight fluctuation comes down to hydration, recently consumed food weight, recent intense exercise, which sounds kind of weird, but there's two things that exercise can do to you. It will make you look like you've gained weight, which is what people hate to see after they exercise, or it can make you look like you lost a whole lot of weight, which makes a person after they exercise feel great, but then it might not feel so great when you see that weight creep back in because it wasn't real weight loss. And then you also have your bathroom habits or bathroom schedule. So like I said, a couple of these are quite obvious, but they're usually not thought of every time a person's stepping on the scale. I mean, you're not going to step on the scale normally anyway until maybe after watching this video and think to yourself, oh, I'm up 2 pounds, but you know what? I just got done drinking a quart of water, which interestingly, a quart of water weighs 2 pounds. So think about how much extra weight you are carrying around if you're staying properly hydrated and are drinking a full gallon of water a day. And I mean, that would be a huge weight difference compared to, let's say you weighed yourself while you were dehydrated and you're not carrying around that water. And this kind of leads to the intense exercise. If you just got done exercising, you might have sweated a whole bunch of water out and you weigh less. But as soon as you drink that water, you're going to get the weight back because it wasn't like a true weight loss just because of this exercise. And interesting, a lot of people out there, they'll weigh themselves before exercising, go out and exercise, and however much weight they've dropped, they figure they need to drink that corresponding weight of water to make up for their sweat loss, which is kind of a smart way of doing it. I'm not that hardcore, I guess. I just make sure I drink the gallon a day, and if I'm feeling thirsty on top of that because I did a particular rough workout, I'll go drink a little bit extra. Now the interesting thing is the morning after you did a really intense workout has the opposite effect. You'll see a weight gain. And what happens is muscles heal themselves by surrounding themselves in a water bath. So when you do a whole bunch of biceps, your biceps might look really swole for a day or two. And what it is a whole bunch of water is moving in there and getting stored. So those muscle cells can repair themselves. Because you're retaining this water around your muscles that normally isn't there, it's a higher level than normal to facilitate the repairs. You're going to see a weight gain because that you're not shedding that water that you consumed off. You're storing it and using it to repair muscle cells. So that's one thing. Like on my Sunday weigh-ins for you guys, I make sure I don't do a really intense workout on Saturday. I'll do a workout, but it's maybe like 50-60% effort instead of 70-80% effort. Like I try not to go out and do like huge runs. Like the 5K I did last Sunday. That I made sure and I did that on Sunday after I weighed in. That way I didn't do it like Saturday and end up looking heavier than I really was. I'm trying to stay consistent about how I weigh in, and that's one of the things I do is avoid intense exercises beforehand. But Saturday I still went out and I did like 2 separate 30-40 minute walks at 3.5 miles an hour. So between consuming food, drinking water, and bathroom habits, other than the exercise, generally the best time to weigh yourself is first thing in the morning after you use the bathroom. And that way you'll be very consistent on what condition your body is in. You won't be dehydrated if you drank a gallon the previous day, but you won't be like overly hydrated and storing a whole bunch of water since you probably gotten up a couple times during the night and went first thing in the morning. And you haven't eaten any food, which is going to add to your body weight. And then as far as other things you can do, last thing I recommend is if you wear something while you're stepping on the scale, make sure you wear the exact same clothing items every single time. Like, don't wear similar shorts. Make sure they're like the exact same pair. Don't wear a t-shirt in general. Pick out like an exact t-shirt you're going to wear. That way you can remain consistent as possible and get like a very good baseline reading on what you're doing and what your body is doing. If you eliminate like other variables, then the only thing that can possibly be showing up is weight gain or weight loss that you're experiencing. Hopefully weight loss. So for me, I generally covered what could cause weight fluctuations. So what caused my 5-pound fluctuation? I mean, really, yesterday morning, I'm not even joking, I weighed myself and it read 268 compared to the 275 that it read this morning. One thing that I didn't quite list is salt. So yesterday I had a bunch of salt. Well, if there's a bunch of salt in your body, some of it's going to get flushed out, but it's also going to cause your salt levels in your body to elevate, and because of that, there's going to be more water that gets absorbed and stays and stored in your body. So basically, because I ate a bunch of salt, the water levels in my body increased over what they normally would be. And it probably is going to take, I'm guessing, 3 to 4 days for that to kind of clear out and go back to normal. And what it was is I went to watch a movie with my kids and I ate some of their popcorn, which definitely isn't paleo. At least there wasn't butter spread all over it. But there is definitely a whole bunch of salt on movie popcorn. They need to make it taste good. They need that high salt level, because when you eat salty foods, you're tempted and your body craves sugary foods that counteract it. That's why French fries and Coke go so great together, or popcorn and movie soda. Luckily, I didn't buy myself a soda, and I don't know what my wife and kids were drinking, but I'm pretty sure it was not regular Coke. It was probably Diet or something, which in my earlier videos I said I can't stand the taste of aspartame. It tastes like poison to me. So I was in no way tempted to drink their soda. But I was dying of thirst when I got out of that movie theater. I probably came home and drank about 48 to 56 ounces just in one sitting. I was that thirsty and had consumed that much salt just in a little bit of popcorn. I didn't even eat like probably an eighth of the tub, which, considering how big the tubs are, an eighth is still probably too much. And I did track it calorie wise and managed to only go over like 500 calories yesterday. So I did a lot better than I was expecting. Plus, I guess I could have gone there and eaten nothing, but then, I don't know. It's really hard to watch a movie without eating popcorn for some reason for me. And plus, I mean, even with that one horrible day out of the last 8 weeks, I mean, I've done really good, and even this week I've still managed to lose 2 pounds, even with that high water retention from yesterday. So, I mean, I'd say I'm still on the right track, and although that stepping on the scale every day and seeing that 5-pound weight goal was slightly upsetting, like I said, it's the overall trend that you want to look at. And if you can't look at the weight every day and not get upset and it makes you depressed, just skip to the once a week weigh-ins, every 2 weeks. But you have to remember, you can't just like eat 2 or 3 days. You can't just eat correctly 2 or 3 days in advance and do exercise 2 or 3 days in advance. You're either going to have to maintain what you're doing throughout that week before your weigh-in to actually see the results you want. Or if you're doing 2 weeks, you're going to have to go 2 weeks and maintain that level of consistency in your eating and exercise. Otherwise, when you go weigh in, you're going to not see the weight loss that you were hoping for, and it's going to deal a blow to your motivation. And I'd hate for not weighing in enough to be the reason that somebody stops eating correctly and working out. So here's a chart of my weight loss, and as you can see, it varies up and down an awful lot during the past 2 months. So you have to be honest with yourself. If those bumps or those increases are upsetting to you, then maybe weighing yourself every day isn't good for you and you need to do just once a week. But as I said, you can notice there's a decreasing trend all the way across. I mean, if you drew a straight line from here to here, you'd see it was going down, and it would closely follow generally a line that goes through the middle of most of those data points. And that's really what's important. So in this case, you got to be honest with yourself. Are you every day look at the trends, don't care about slight increases, or are you a 1 week person or a 2 week person? I can't tell you which is best, because that's something only you can decide for yourself. Well, that's it for week 8. Hopefully you guys are still staying with whatever program you decide to do and are losing weight. Feel free to tell me how it's going, and I'm going to congratulate you if you've lost any weight. Like, that's a big deal, especially this day and age. And see you next week.